And now, Inktober number 5. Hello, my name is Pen, I am a freelance digital artist, and today we are drawing MaoMao, Adorabat and Badgerclops from the new Cartoon Network show, MaoMao Heroes of Pure Heart. While I was sick a couple days ago, I needed something to watch while I was laying in bed. I had seen these characters online a bit, so I got curious, looked up the show, and within a few episodes it won me over. It's wonderful. It's primarily a comedy about adventurers MaoMao and Badgerclops, who get stuck in a town full of bright, colorful critters. One of them is a 5-year-old bat named Adorabat, who is instantly infatuated with MaoMao, wanting to be an adventurer just like him. So all three of them defend the town against villains and monsters, and tons of shenanigans ensue. MaoMao is essentially Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, both in voice and in personality. He's aggressive, he's a fighter, he's a bit insecure, and that sometimes shows, but overall he has a strong sense of justice, though occasionally it gets to his head and he becomes a little bit of an egomaniac, just like Vegeta. But he clearly wants to do the right thing and help protect the town and make everyone proud, so it's really easy to love him. His partner Badgerclops is definitely more down to earth and really speaks for the audience, usually calling something out if it sounds absurd or weird or scary. He's the everyman of the show. He has an eye patch and a cybernetic arm. He's definitely the brains, though he can also be a bit immature. Honestly, all the characters can be immature, that's what makes it fun. And they do kind of play up the sweet-toothed fat character a little too much, but eventually they toned it down and that made the show a lot better. And then Adorabat is perfection. She is easily my favorite character. She's a hyperactive, excitable, aggressive little kid. She's impatient, she's excited to help out. And her voice is so quirky and weird. The voice actress did a great job of doing an excitable kid to the point of screaming all the time, while still being really lovable and adorable, hence her name. The three play off each other really well, and the show does a good mix of self-aware comedy while still developing the characters as you go on, and it actually becomes very interesting. All the slapstick and one-liners actually have a bit of weight when characters are interacting. If someone says something that's a little extreme, the other characters will acknowledge it.
You want your nasty cookies muffins? Now run!
That was a little mean.
And they'll actually react and talk about it. Usually chaos ensues, but it's nice seeing these characters have a grounded personality, even while the city's on fire. In this drawing, I wanted to find a mix of their original designs with the spooky costume idea for Halloween. With Adorabat, it was easy to give her a cape so that she's imitating MaoMao, because she is a little obsessed with him, as a 5-year-old would be with their favorite anything. MaoMao is already a black cat, so it kinda works to make him a witch, give him a broomstick and everything. With Badgerclops, the eye patch reminded me of Big Boss from Metal Gear Solid, so I gave him the headband. Technically, the eye patch is on the wrong eye for Big Boss, but that's the eye patch that Badgerclops has, so I kept that with his original design, and just added some extra details with the patches and vest that he wears. 5 drawings into Inktober, and I realize how nervous I get when drawing with ink. I start with a ballpoint pen, so it's easier to sketch before I add any big, dark lines. But it doesn't change the fact that I am internally panicking as I draw these pictures every time. I'm certainly getting used to it, and that helps. A big secret is to do less until you're sure of what you're doing. I think I saved Adorabat's eyes for last because I was so unsure of how to do the shading specifically. Figuring out Badgerclops' arm and how it would go up to his mouth with the lollipop was really difficult, so I hesitated a lot on that. Though the shading for MaoMao, it was very satisfying to shade in those thick dark lines throughout his character. I still kept this one color, orange, and I was really not sure what to do with the shading on Adorabat. Because she's a blue character, yet I was sticking with orange, I decided to just make the lines really, really light, but also have the more space between the lines as I shaded her slightly orange. One way to keep the color looking right on her was contrast. I would do heavy dark orange around her cape, and that heavy outline I do on all the characters, that slight shading, helps them stand out. Even when it comes to painting, it still helps to think this way of how objects are overlapping. And when you have a bunch of objects overlapping, it can be really easy to get the details lost, so you really gotta make your lines count. Having a shadow drop on the objects behind can add a really powerful look, and it's easier to look at and find all the characters correctly. This is the first time I actually drew these characters except for Adorabat, and as the show continues, I will definitely be drawing more of these three.
Another flawless victory where I did everything right.
You almost just got sliced in.
And that's it for this episode of Inktober. I hope you liked it. If you want to see my art, you can go to DeviantArt, Twitter, Instagram, and I have a Patreon if you want to see daily posts, and my website, penmarkart.com. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.